Okay, this is basically a cozy chat, okay? It's my thoughts about tarot and what to do if you feel like you're watching an awful lot of it, basically. Let me just adjust that. Yeah, so I'm putting the tarot cards to one side, and I'm going to open up a charcoal and burn some oud bakor. I used to live in the Middle East, okay, and the shopping centres used to smell amazing with oud bakor being burnt. So I'm just gonna ramble on basically with my thoughts about what to do and what I've done in the past when I've been watching too much tarot. So I started watching tarot a few years ago now, probably about 3 years ago. Oh god, excuse me. Right, it's one of those they're like fast lighting, like easy lighting charcoals. I feel like I need to just keep an eye on that in case it sends out a little spark somewhere. Let's move that. Yeah, I'm just gonna put some oud bakor with it because I've been burning a lot of sage. Okay, I'd like to burn sage for each of my videos. It smells really good. And sometimes I'll burn Palo Santo, okay, but even for tarot readers, it can all get a bit much. I personally understand if you feel like you're watching too much of it, because when you first discover tarot, I wasn't even looking for it. It's something that came up. It must have been something that came up on my feed because there's no way that I was ever into it. And then it must have just been I don't know, it must have been suggested or something, or I could not even tell you. I ended up watching it. It will have been on YouTube because I never had TikTok. I wonder if there's a way to find out. No, I don't know. So, the reason I watched it is because it was talking about relationships and different kinds of connections that we have. And I saw that other people, real people, had commented underneath and knew that they were all going through it, and it was honestly so comforting because, on social media people are posting, happy stuff, like they just got their first house, or they just got married, or they found out they're pregnant, or they just got a new job, or I don't know, it's always happy stuff, or they're feeling good, they're looking great, they're killing it in the gym, and why shouldn't people celebrate stuff like that? They're obviously made up, but it's like a toxic kind of positivity, and an example of that at its best would be the year that COVID happened and everyone's world, went into chaos, and people really suffered, mental health wise. People passed away, people, became really ill, people were frightened, You know, it was not a good year. A lot of people lost jobs, the instability, the economy changing, you know, and in that like new year, everyone had done their typical posts of like, oh, new year, you know, like it's going to be best year yet and all this, posting about all the good stuff that's happened to them. Every year you're going to have ups and downs, and in the tarot community, and what I mean by that is like any channel that you click on, you're going to see people commenting underneath that things are not great for them, you know, and I liked that. I liked to know that other people were going through stuff that I was going through, because it's a human flaw. It's just something that we do. We tend to not dramatise, that's not the right word, because your feelings are valid, but we tend to, what's the word? We can forget that there's other people going through stuff that we're going through. We can forget that, and we can feel like it's just, you can get this kind of like, I don't know, it's easy to lose sight, I suppose, of the fact that rationally there's going to be a lot of people going through whatever you're going through right now, whether it be illness, a breakup, loss, you know, getting made redundant, grieving, dealing with health issues, realising you're in, you know, a loveless marriage, realising that you don't actually want to get married, or realising that you don't know if you ever want children, or realising that you do. You know, like everything is just shifting energies, and I honestly would look at life as more like a game of snakes and ladders. Sometimes people are climbing the ladder, you know, and the very next day they're sliding down the biggest of snakes, and they're right back, you know, at square one. And you can apply that to love, apply it to marriage, apply it to home owning, any kind of status in society, you know, reputation. You know, think about all of the stuff where it's like being cancelled, the cancel culture, and life is a series of ups and downs. It literally is. And I think tarot is one place where there's decent conversation going on from people who are, they're constantly pondering about why we're having these experiences. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. You know, there's a lot of philosophers and a lot of religions where that is acknowledged. And the whole purpose of us being is to explore our time being human. You know, in this lifetime, you don't want to just mindlessly make decisions and recklessly make decisions, you know, and it's crazy good sometimes and it's crazy bad. And it's like, if you are not the kind of person to question, if you're not the kind of person to look into things deeply, if you're not an introspective person, if you're not interested in art and psychology and religion and philosophy, why on earth are you watching tarot? Because it's all of those things combined. It's highly intellectual. It isn't voodoo. It isn't made up stuff. I've seen a lot of hate towards tarot. I personally never ever thought I would like tarot, and I think I misunderstood. I thought that it was mediumship, and it's not. Tarot reading is, you basically shuffling cards, you're asking questions from source, and cards are thrown out, and you try to, you know, understand what message is being given from people who make up source. They are higher beings, they're people who've lived many lives. You could be related to them, but you might not be. You know, it's a collective of souls, of people who've been through spiritual enlightenment. And, you know, accusations that tarot readers are just charlatans or people who are trying to make money by producing clickbait. You know, honestly, when I first started watching tarot, there was a lot more of that. I don't see any of that now. And this leads me on to the purpose of tarot and what to do if you're watching a lot of it. I would watch different channels, watch different readers, okay? Because everyone has a different personality. People articulate things in different ways. You might find the way someone looks to be annoying, or the way someone's voice is to be annoying, or the way they read the cards, or what background they choose, what text they choose. Some people you will learn a lot of wisdom from, nuggets of advice, and especially readers who take their time to explain what the cards mean, readers who show you the cards, who interpret them in the moment, you know, and work through a story that's evolving, reflect on their own experiences, read out oracles. Oracle messages are some of the most profound messages that you will ever get. And if you don't watch your tarot, maybe you won't read anything in that entire day that's as meaningful, you know? Angel numbers, all of this stuff is designed to help you heal, to help you process difficult emotions, harsh emotions, heavy emotions. When you are feeling down, sometimes you can watch a tarot reading and at the beginning or the end, you'll be given oracle messages. And they're really, really nice. They're really nurturing. They're really reassuring. So there's a lot of positivity to be gained from it, in terms of you will come across. I don't allow comments on my YouTube channel because one person was trolling me. It's only ever been like one person, but you know, if you look at other channels, maybe people start to care less when they've got larger numbers, but I'm a sensitive person. I really don't like it, and I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't bother me. But if you look at the comments, you know, people are really going through it. They're really struggling, and they've dealt with really, really toxic marriages, betrayal, nasty narcissists. You know, sometimes they're dealing with someone that's ghosting them, they're in and out, they're a player. Sometimes they're dealing with, you know, not really having anyone interested in them, or feeling like they haven't got their ish together, and therefore why would anyone want them? Sometimes people are generally concerned over like how to grow abundance, or like what's going to happen to them, you know, like just wanting general info about how things are going to be. We're all anxious, we're all worried, you know. Millionaires worry, people people worry about their health, they worry about financial security, they worry about all kinds of stuff. And I think that's where, if you watch a video and it resonates, it's really exciting and it's really thrilling, and you think, oh my god, that's my exact situation. And then you just feel like you found your place, that you love tarot, that you can't, you know, wait to watch another video, and you're going to check out another channel, and then you check out another one and another one and another one, and before you know it, you know, you subscribe to like 50 plus channels, or giving you messages for Taurus or for Aries or for Aquarius, whatever your, sign is. And then you're like, well, I want to, see what it is today. Or this one posts every day, I'm going to watch it. Or this one posts weekly, or I'll subscribe to them as well. And you can end up clicking on so much. I watch a lot of tarot and I learned a lot about tarot from doing that. So that's an added benefit is, yeah, see, the benefits are you get to see that you're not the only one going through it. Okay, there's loads of other people. You are allowed to interact with those people. You can be supportive to other people. If you want to agree that a certain situation is rubbish, if they've written like something specifically that they're going through, you can be supportive to them, and that's nice. You can be chatting to someone on the other side of the world and just be like, hey, that sounds really rubbish, like, you deserve better. And, people write nice stuff, don't they? Like, I hope anyone who, like, sees this message, has a really nice month, or, like, I don't know, they just write nice stuff, and you feel a part of something, it's nice. But yeah, this is what I found myself doing, was just subscribing to more and more channels, and then I was getting like, some messages would be very similar and I'd be like, oh my god, there's something in this, and then I'd watch ones that were like very opposite messages and I would get really confused, and I would like think, well, this person said that this exact thing's going to happen on this exact day, and it didn't, or like this person saying the opposite is gonna happen. It's not an exact science, and all we're doing is we're trying to interpret, coded messages. They're pictures on cards. They are ideas, like someone isn't financially, doing well, or someone's focused on money, too much, or someone's heartbroken, or, they're quite general messages. But when you get different combinations of cards and something resonates, I'm trying to think of something specific, like if a reader says, I think this is like a twin flame scenario, and you and another person have been brought into each other's lives for a reason, they keep ghosting you, you're going to learn not to chase people. You're going to learn where your boundaries are and how much it hurts to run after people, and be codependent. They're going to learn not to run. Certain narratives will be explained, and why those are organised for us by the universe, why why have this experience, why would life put me through this off and on, in and out, really like long periods of misery and short bursts of excitement. Is this person just a horrible, nasty person? No, they're not. They're someone who has lessons to learn, and so are you. Karmics, they're people like narcissists who, like a full-blown narcissist, will tell lies to anyone. They will tell lies to anyone. They will tell lies to their mother, their father, their child, their cousin, their brother, their sister. They will tell lies in every direction as long as it suits them, as long as they get, what they need from people, they get people to believe certain things. Narcissists break the law, they will break every law going. They're on, if you're like, well, there's literally like all lines have been crossed, that's a narcissist, They will really disrespect you on many different levels. tell you that you're selfish when you're already paying like their way for stuff. You know, make you feel uncomfortable sexually, you know, asking you to do things that you don't want to do. They won't respect boundaries. They'll destroy property, you know, in a fit of rage. They will intimidate. They will charm. They will. It's all manipulation, okay? If you're dealing with someone who, you know, is kind of very impulsive, reckless, they don't have boundaries, they break the law, you know, no amount of money seems to be enough. They never seem to have money. They never seem to be calm for long. There's frequent drama. You know, they can start off seeming perfect, and then within a few months, the drama starts, and, you know, things just not adding up, things are not making sense, you know. And if you start talking to people around them, they'll be like, no, they told me you were asking them for money. Or they said this, you know, they said you weren't sleeping together, that's why they've been sleeping with someone else. And you open mouthed because you can't believe like the lies. And then you find out that they've like got a criminal record, or you find out, you know, that they're doing stuff that is like clearly illegal, and you're just like, what on earth is this person about? You know, it's like, then it gets really scary, because then you're like, well, I don't know what this person wouldn't do. You know, a better question to ask would be, what wouldn't this person do? So first of all, make sure you're watching tarot with the understanding that even if what someone says is going to happen doesn't happen, it doesn't mean they're a liar or a charlatan, or they're trying to scam you and get whatever because they're just trying to make money. Don't assume that, because the advice that you're giving about interactions with people, why are you allowing someone to tell you that you're selfish? Why are you ignoring the red flags? Why are you trying to work with crazy? You know, maybe you do need to draw healthy boundaries around yourself. Maybe you are someone that constantly comes into contact with people when they're at their darkest, you know, in their darkest hour, and it's just a disaster. And then by the time they've healed and you fix them up, you know, they're meeting someone else and settling down with them. I feel honestly like that's happened to me a few times, and when I read books about it, you know, I realised like maybe I'm a light worker, maybe I'm someone that is an empath, you know, I'm very healing to be around because I'm a natural nurturer. I kind of want to take care of people, you know, I'm reliable, I'm functional, I'm stable, I have solid, you know, senses of attachment and experiences of attachment with family, with friends. It doesn't mean I've never had problems, and it doesn't mean it's okay to use people just because you've had a bad time, or you've got PTSD, or you've had, you know, child abuse when you were younger. Or it just doesn't mean that you get to go around trampling on other people. However, you've been a safe person for them to be around where they've had a period in their life where they weren't safe, you know, and if that made them feel better for a while, great, you know. It doesn't mean I didn't tell them what for at some point, you know, and give them a hard time and say, well, why do you get to come into my life? And kind of like knowing you can't offer me stability, but kind of promising it. And it's like I wasn't evolved enough to kind of know about all these different people that have these different profound psychological problems and mental problems. I didn't have the life experience to. I just kept making people into villains, and they're not, honestly. So tarot kind of helps you to stop villainizing people and stop hating them, you know, and seeing yourself as a victim and actually just thinking, well, at least they had a nice time in the time that we were together. No, it didn't work out. But if we're honest, you know, that's not because they've planned to, like, plotted and premeditated hurting me. They're actually just not, they haven't got the capacity to offer, like, stability. But yeah, if you find that you've subscribed to a lot of channels and you're kind of really banking on specific outcomes or things definitely happening because that's how a reader said on this day, you know, X person was going to get in touch and they didn't, you know, you honestly need to, like, work on keeping a balance. I would really cut down the number of channels that you're watching from 50 to 5 or 100 to 10 or, you know, 20 to 5 or 6 channels. You know, who are the readers that care about you, that are talking in a nurturing way? They're reading some really nice oracles, they're giving you some angel numbers, they're giving you advice. Because you can't really lose if you're watching readers who are discussing the different kinds of encounters that we have, the different kinds of soul contracts, relationships, you know. You're gaining intellectual knowledge, you're gaining spiritual wisdom, okay, and the opportunity for reflection. And a lot of readers will advocate for you and say, like, you know, if someone's making you feel like unsafe, if someone's physically hurting you, if someone's emotionally, you know, manipulating you, you don't deserve that. And the readers that encourage you to advocate for yourself and that advocate for you and tell you that you know, deserve to be in a healthy relationship with equal give and take, where you each have equal emotion for one another. That's a good reader, it's a good person. And if you have a reader that's not afraid to tell you when something looks like it's, you know, unbalanced or you're not fully happy with it, that's a good reader. You know, someone who says you're going to win 90k next week is not a good reader. They're a scammer and they're putting clickbait to get you to click on the video. If you are clicking on stuff like that, you've got to ask yourself why. If you're getting angry at a reading and unsubscribing from a reader because they said something that you don't think that's what's happening at all, or they said it's over, and you know, feel really triggered by that, ask yourself why. Because if anything, if someone says, oh, they were just a gold digger, and you're like, no, they've never, like, owed me money, like, at all, that's something they were really good at, the fact you're having those thoughts is helping you to figure out the positives of what has been overall something that's ended, you know, and it's sad and it's therefore negative. There were positives because that person didn't screw you out of money, at least, you know. This is the kind of thing that, like, Baddison talks about. Baddison Intuitive Tarot. She talks about, you know, if you don't agree with something that's suggested in a tarot reading about how your person has or hasn't treated you, then that's okay. If it wasn't like that, good, because then you haven't had that bad experience. You can reflect on the fact that, that's one thing that person never did to you. You and the person you had a relationship with or a connection with, you are the only two people who really know what happened. A tarot reader does not know you personally. If you're watching on YouTube or TikTok and you're watching a tarot reading, they don't know you. They are not a fly on the wall in your life. But it doesn't mean that they're a fraud, fraudster or a scammer or a charlatan. They're someone that took the time to sit and read cards and learn how to read cards. They're someone that gives up hours to filming, editing, thinking about how to articulate certain messages, about why you might be having certain interactions, reflecting, sharing their own, stories. And they will be watching tarot readings by other readers, following their own kind of life journey, and getting help with that and contemplating encounters and their emotions about certain things. And they will see stuff that they go, no, that doesn't resonate at all, or that's annoying me a bit, I will shut that video down. You're in control. It's your life. Watching, tarot isn't about finding out exactly what's going to happen today, tomorrow, and the day after. It's not about predicting what's going to happen next year or the year after or in 10 years' time. It's not about that. It's about you reflecting on experiences that you are having at the moment or that you've had in the past, and what those have taught you, and whether you learned anything from it. Tarot readings prompt thought. They provoke certain emotions, reactions, responses. We're not trying to guess exact, specific, things that have happened to you. We can't know that. But if it comes out that, it seems like something's over and a relationship is done, and then you are going through a breakup, or you think that someone's about to break up with you, if you get a really nice oracle message, that can only be positive, right? It's comforting, it's soothing, it makes you believe in yourself, it makes you understand that someone out there does want you to be happy, that you have people around you, who have been through what you are currently going through. That is positive. If something doesn't resonate, click off the video. If there's a reader that really pees you off, unsubscribe from them, but don't get into a situation where you're constantly watching tarot, because you do need to live your life. You need to be making progress, by going to work. You need to be earning money, you need to be spending time with family, like they're not going to be around forever. So if you, make time to see loved ones, if you are going to work, if you are keeping a tidy home and eating well and sleeping well, and you're watching, a couple of readings a day, that's okay. Like, if you find that all you're doing is watching loads of tarot, getting really stressed out, getting yourself into a tiz, getting yourself all confused about, whether someone is or isn't going to come back, you're giving it too much power. You're giving, someone who is obviously a loose cannon or questioning whether they want to be with you anymore, you're giving them too much power because you're putting everything on them coming back. And if you're watching tarot, it's because more than likely there's been no contact for a while. You know, whether that's hours, days, weeks, months, years. If you put all of your happiness and all of your well-being on banking on this person coming back and when are they going to come back and what exact day, you know, I would honestly like change the way that you are thinking, because it's understandable and it's human to do it, but you can't control what someone else does, and a tarot reader is not able to control that. Energy is fluid, it changes, external realities change, what people view as possible or not possible changes. People's morals and principles change overnight. You know, we have profound experiences or circumstances or things that happen to us that make us reflect and change our views. You know, if you study childcare or psychology, you'll understand that schema, you know, are little concepts that we build up based off experiences and what you think about stuff and how you view things constantly changes. You have little theories, okay? You solidify them and then you see something else that makes you contradict that existing theory. And so your brain is like a tree, it prunes itself, you know, and you may get more into tarot and more open to, you know, exploring the whys behind the different experiences you have as you get older. If you're quite young and you're watching tarot, great, you know, but a lot of people don't get into it until they're like in their late 30s, early 40s, maybe their 50s, because it is like quite big, broad subjects, very intellectual subject content, and you know, the overarching themes are spirituality, wisdom, philosophy, ethics, morality, love, life, why are we all here? You know, it's big questions and the answers are not easy ones. So, you know, if you're someone that does reflect a lot, great, but if you're ruminating on stuff, if you're not sleeping, if you're watching back-to-back videos obsessively and you're like putting that before seeing friends or family or exercising or going out to earn money, then it's just like the old adage, you know, like everything in moderation, cut it down, make sure, allow yourself to watch a couple of videos, but if you get invited out, go. Don't say no, I've got to watch 25 tarot videos back to back. You know, if you haven't exercised today and you've been working in school or in an office, go out for a walk and then watch some tarot after. Like, if you really could do with getting chores done, put it on, but get your chores done. Or, you know, say to yourself, I'm not going to watch certain tarot videos, like just exactly as they come out. I can watch it tomorrow, it'll be fine. Like, I'm going to get sleep because I need sleep. Listen to your body, make sure you continue to have real-time experiences and build new memories. Don't just live for finding out what's going to happen in the future or what, you know, thinking about what's happened in the past. Live in the present moment. I do think there's a lot to be gained from tarot. I wouldn't do it if I wasn't authentically like really into it. I can't even explain how it works really. I've read books about it. All I know is in life there's too many coincidences for it to just be chance, you know. Certain card combinations that I've pulled have been pulled by different tarot readers in the same day or the day after. They've ascertained the exact same message from it. it's just a mad one, guys. Like, I can't even, like, it's like how any in science, any theory is just an idea, isn't it? It's an idea, it's an abstract concept that we then see some things or try some things and we think, yeah, there's something in that. I think I'm onto something there. That's what tarot is, you know. You can't say that religions are invalid because you can't see heaven or hell, or, you know, these are, they're concepts, you know. Anything, like anything in science, religion, philosophy, it's concepts, and we only have human experience of things that kind of match that to say that it's real. If you are interested in like exploring mediumship, watch Tyler Henry, Hollywood psychic medium. Oh my god, he's so good. So I only started watching him about 6 months ago, and I'm obsessed. But it is like very emotional because he is different to a tarot reader. He will get signs and symbols and words, and then he will try to understand a story, and he'll tell like people's friends and relatives, you know, who've invited him to their homes. He'll tell them things that only they could know, and it doesn't really make sense to him. And then they're like, oh my god, you know. And it's just like there's people that don't believe what he does, but he was just a kid when he, you know, when he started. And he's only famous because he was reading for famous people, you know. It's like people think, well, if you're like genuine, why are you like getting paid, you know, like on a channel? You're just making money, you're just like making anything, get a real job and all this stuff. Just because someone gets paid for being a doctor doesn't mean they don't want to help people. Just because someone gets paid for training people in the gym doesn't mean they don't authentically want to help people to get fit and meet their goals. You know, if you're spending the majority of your time doing something, why would you not get paid for it? It doesn't mean that you're not doing it, you know, because you want to help people. So I would question people who bash tarot and say that everyone's a charlatan. I'm quite offended by some of the stuff I've seen on Reddit and Quora and all the forums where people just want to have a bitch about stuff. You know, this one woman said, oh, my husband like watched a tarot reading and ended our marriage because of a tarot reading. I'm sorry, but that's bollocks. It really is. If your husband is that much of an arsehole that he says, I'm breaking up with you because you cheated because I saw it on a tarot reading, more than likely he knows that you are into tarot, you don't really understand it because you haven't got the kind of like intellectual capacity to transmute it into things that make sense, you know. And then you're saying that's why your husband ended a marriage. I'm sorry, that's rubbish. That's utter rubbish. If anything, he's a narcissist that's, you know, got into your head, and he knows that you'll, you know, be defeated by, you know, this victim mentality that someone could break up with you because they watched a tarot reading. You know, that's gaslighting. If you're accusing someone of cheating who hasn't cheated, and you're saying that you think they cheated because you saw it in a tarot reading, that's gaslighting. That's telling someone that that white wall is black and you're crazy. You cheated and you're saying that you didn't cheat, but you did cheat and you're crazy. That's what gaslighting is. You're selfish. You paid everything for me last week, but you won't give me another £200. Like, you're selfish. That's gaslighting. So if someone gaslights you and says because they watched a tarot reading that said you cheated, that's why they're ending their marriage, you cannot blame a tarot reader for that. I'm sorry. You can't. He's just an arsehole. If anything, we are shuffling cards, cards fly out, and we derive a message from it. If you think when you're watching it, shit, that is what's going on with me at the moment, that's crazy, you know, then that reading is resonating with you, and that's what we mean when we say that if it resonates. We're not trying to read your future and then tell you like this person is cheating on you when they're actually not in real life. We're saying it looks like you've been betrayed, and then if you're sitting there going, oh my god, yes I was, then it resonates. Okay, it's that way round. Just make sure that you take care of yourselves, that you, even if you're depressed because you're going through a breakup, you're not obsessing watching videos to find out whether that person's going to come back. And it's easy for me to say that, but the main thing is you don't deserve to be miserable, you don't deserve to be unhappy. And if watching tarot is making you feel worse, not better, then turn it off. Go and watch a movie with a good friend, invite them over, go and sit in the living room with your parents, tell people how you're feeling, you know. Go and have lunch with a friend, go to the gym and hash it out, you know. Go and get a massage, go and like get a sauna, go in a steam room, go to a sound bath, go for a lovely walk outside. By doing all these things, you can only improve your life by going to work, earning money, keeping a routine, building new routines for yourself. You can only improve your life. If you sit and watch hours and hours and hours and hours of back-to-back tarot videos and get wound up over what messages you're being given, you've actually like not taken accountability for your own life. You're basically like going down a rabbit hole of someone needs to tell me what's going to happen to me. You know, and it's just not a good mindset to have. If you're feeling vulnerable, you don't have to let anyone near you for a long time if you don't want to. But at some point, if you're going to the gym to just kind of work out and not feel lonely because you would have normally gone to your partner's house or whatever, you know, you might see someone and think, shit, I didn't think that I was going to fancy anyone like ever again. And 4 months later, I'm finding that person really attractive. Oh my god, like I'm crushing on them. You know, just do positive things. You know, if you don't feel hungry, just eat a bit of what's on your plate at least. Because you don't deserve to be miserable. You know, it stands to reason that if you eat less and less and you try to control life like that, or if you overeat and you try to create happiness through food, you're going to gain weight. If you don't allow yourself to eat, you're punishing yourself for what somebody else caused. You know, like they're not healthy coping mechanisms, and you have to take responsibility for yourself. If you're exercising, you know, twice a day, every day, you're punishing yourself. You're not treating your body like a temple at all. That's a punishment. That is not taking care of yourself and being healthy. Over exercising is a thing, you know. Having shallow connections over and over, you know, can be fun. You can feel like you don't really care, but then all of a sudden you do care, and it actually hurts a lot. And then if you're continuously getting involved with, you know, no-hopers and people who don't have good intentions. If someone's love bombed you, that's different because you didn't see that coming, and they're a knob for doing that. But if you know what they're about and you keep getting involved with them and it's hurting you, why are you still doing it? That is a form of self-harm, you know. It's all fun and games until it's not. So it's about being kind to yourself, doing what you know is good for you, healthy for you, being around people who you know want the best for you, whether that's like a strict 4 or 5 people for a while, that's up to you. But just don't watch so much tarot that you're not living in the moment anymore. Because you will go insane. You will actually go insane. It's not a crystal ball. It isn't the answer to life. But you will learn to reflect and grow and intellectualize why you might be having certain experiences, what you can gain from that, how you might move forward, and appreciate the good bits. Just because it didn't work out in the end doesn't mean it wasn't significant. Just because someone cheated, 20 years after being married, having a successful family and a beautiful home, doesn't mean everything is rubbish and you need to hate the world and love is dead, romance is dead. That they're like someone that just always set out to like ruin your life. It's not like that, is it? Nothing's that simple. Nothing is that simple. If they were truly, like if you were truly happy together, they probably wouldn't have done anything. And if they're, dipping out of the marriage to get involved with other people, do you really want them? Do you really want them now that you found that out? Probably not, and it sucks, but it sucks as much for people who are single or don't own a home or experiencing their first breakup. I remember my mum saying to me, she didn't mean anything nasty by it, but when my first boyfriend broke up with me, I was Romeo and Juliet upset about it. I thought my life was over. I was like crying till I was being sick. It hurt so much. I didn't understand why he didn't love me anymore. And my mum was like, well, he was a good first love. And I thought, wow, you're like basically invalidating my pain, my misery, by saying, well, it's just a first love, isn't it? Some people marry their first love. Some people are with them forever. But she didn't. She wasn't trying to hurt me. She was trying to help me. But you got to like forgive people, haven't you? If they say like something that's a bit wrong, or it wasn't what you were, it didn't make you feel better. It actually like triggered you. That's not their fault. They're just trying to help you. So remember that when you write comments on people's tarot channels, it's a real person that's just actually reading tarot because they want to help people. And if they say something that hits a nerve, just turn off the video. Don't let yourself down and write nasty stuff, because I've seen that, and I've seen people write the most like disgusting, contrived comments, having a full on dialogue with other commenters about someone on their own channel. And it's a real person. At the other, behind that camera, it's a real person that is talented, that is enthusiastic, that is intellectual, that is caring, and they're trying to give you like nuggets of wisdom for your own good. And if you don't like the way they're saying it or what they're saying, turn it off. But don't, say nasty things, because that's making you feel nice because you get to be in a group and say things about one person. But that one person who's in a room by themselves somewhere coming across those comments, you are responsible for making them feel the way that they now feel. You know what I mean? Don't let yourself down. I get offended when I see people bitching about tarot readers on their own channels, because it's like, that's that person's baby. It's something that's really special to them. They wouldn't have started doing it if they didn't really care about it. It takes a lot of time, effort, and energy. You know, it's draining, it's tiring, it's like any other job, but it's intriguing and it's interesting and it's a maze and it's a labyrinth and it's a Rubik's Cube of ideas, theories, abstract concepts. Do not think that we're charlatans because we got the day wrong that your person's going to come back, or we said that we're going to, call you and they didn't. It's cards, it's we can't control people's destinies, but we can try to understand why you've had certain encounters, and give you wisdom and nice messages to help you to process that and move on. We can give you hope, that there's someone around you that's interested. The way, I know I said we don't predict the future, but the way that we find things out is from source, and source is made up of, and I touched on this earlier, people from either your life directly who've passed on, or people you don't know. Entities, spiritual entities, not always people. Some people believe in clairvoyance and they see the future, they see entities around them who are just, spiritual beings. They're not necessarily human, or haven't been necessarily human, that give really profound, insight, wisdom. They can see the future. I can't see the future, but messages that come through are from spiritual beings. This is what we believe in tarot and in the world of mediumship, which is different to tarot reading. Mediumship is connecting with people that are loved ones who were related to you that have passed away, or been in your life enough to send messages, now that they're gone. And it doesn't involve cards, it involves like words or symbols, and articulating what that might mean. We're looking at, we're asking spirit to pull out cards, but if you watch Tyler Henry, Psychic Medium, he says that people who've passed on, they often change their perspective on things. They go through an ego death. They're not worried about what people think anymore. They realise the error of their ways more often than not. They have a very, very different view, and they may have had one very stubborn idea about certain things their entire life and were well known for that. And then once they've passed on, they actually don't feel that way anymore. But he can also find out if someone's going to be really, really ill soon, or he can find out if someone's career is going to go in a particular direction. And that's been validated many times. He can give details that are literally make people's hair stand on end, give people goosebumps, confirm things that have happened that they've never told anyone else about. It's amazing, and people, you can see them having real emotional reactions to it, and they're overwhelmed by it. And if you're not a believer because you're like, well, that person could have told them stuff beforehand, Go to a medium, go to Tyler Henry, he does lives. Get read by him, you know, he'll tell you things that make your hair stand on end. So don't denounce things just because, you know, metaphysical, like, just because heaven isn't like something you can touch doesn't mean you shouldn't believe in it. Just because, you know, you've never seen a ghost doesn't mean there aren't any. Just because you are someone who believes in science over, you know, and facts over ideas and concepts, and, you know, you're not spiritual or religious, doesn't mean that you can denounce a whole group of people who thoroughly believe in what they're talking about and do what they're doing because they want to help people. We do what we're doing because we want to help people. We do what we're doing because we want to help people. You know, so if someone says something that's like too fly away, they're too curt, they're too like unpleasant with the way that they're articulating stuff, don't watch that. Don't watch that reader anymore. Change the channel, you know. Find someone that, you know, wants the best for you. Find a reader that gives really nice oracle messages, you know, from oracle decks, and helps you to learn tarot by explaining and showing what cards they're getting. And don't let anyone tell you that it's your fault you haven't met someone yet, because it isn't. It isn't. If you're going to work, if you're doing the shopping, if you are continuing to build and maintain friendships, you know, relations with family and colleagues, and, you know, a good amount of time at home resting and being comfortable in your own company, you're just living your life. I don't like it when tarot readers say things like, you need to go outside, how do you expect to meet someone if you don't? Do you know what I mean? It's like saying it's your fault you haven't met anyone and you're doing it wrong, and, you know, or you keep picking, you know, like the wrong people to go out with. No. If you met someone who's toxic and you saw red flags and you kept going with it, yeah, that's, you know, something you're accountable for. But if you are not going to, you know, every event, or you're not taking up every offer when someone says, do you want to go to the cinema, do you want to go to the shops, do you want to go to a bar, do you want to eat out, you haven't got to do everything and force a meeting with someone, you know, to find love. Love will find you. You just explore things you're interested in, go to places you like, do as you feel to do. Don't get in your head and think that you're not meeting anyone because you're doing your life wrong. It's not that. It's not that. If a tarot reader starts saying crap like that, I just turn it off. I think I've gone on long enough, but basically I would just cut down the number of channels that you are watching. You know, if you subscribe to like 30 to 50 channels, why are you doing that? There's not enough hours in the day to watch all that tarot. Do it to start with if you're new to tarot and you've got no idea who floats your boat, and then you'll get like a few readers who, like, I really like them as a person. They say nice messages. They seem to really care. They got quite good advice. I'll keep watching them, you know. And sometimes it'll resonate and you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's really resonating. Or, yeah, I like what they said about this X, Y, and Z. I like that. But if someone's really triggering you, don't watch it. Unsubscribe, turn it off, and make sure you are continuing to live in the present, planning in nice things to look forward to, spending some time with your loved ones, be there for them. You know, don't lock yourself in your room and watch back-to-back videos and get all wound up. Don't do it, because you'll get really confused. If you're looking for what's going to happen with a particular person and you're banking on like what day they're going to come back and how they're going to contact you, and you wait for it to happen, then it doesn't happen, and then you watch another video and it says something opposite, you get really stressed out. But you're putting power onto an outcome of what another whole other person who's living a whole other life thinks a different way, feels a different way, has other priorities, other responsibilities, has external realities to deal with. You can't know when they're going to get in touch or how they're going to do it. You can't know that. But they might be back. You know, there might be a general message to say that they're missing you, they're gonna get in touch with you at some point. It's not Ava, or it looks like it's twin flames, or it looks like someone that's just fairly toxic. I wouldn't give it the time of day. If you're like, well, I do want to see them and you're a whatever, you know, at least you know how you feel about something. If you hear something you don't like, at least you know how you do feel about it, or you think, no, they weren't like that, they didn't treat me like that. Or no, I won't be getting in touch with them because they're toxic. You know what the situation is, you know how you feel about it, and don't give your power to any other person on the planet about like them coming back to you being like the sum total of like whether you're happy in life or not. Don't. There's other things to focus on. Yes, you're allowed to be unhappy that they've disappeared or gone AWOL or, you know, ghosted. You're allowed to be unhappy, but that is really low behaviour. But you don't know what's going on in that person's reality. You don't know what issues they've got from when they were younger. You don't know if they are, you know, being a player. But you need to just know that you've got people around you that genuinely care about you, that you can rely on, and you deserve to be happy. You don't deserve to be miserable. So you eat some dinner, you do some exercise, you explore art and music, and you have a dance in your room, and you know, make arrangements, holidays, things to look forward to. You create goals for yourself in work, in career. You continue to live your life, and you watch tarot for entertainment, but you know you've got your shit going on. You're having a glow up, you're getting your body the best it's ever been, you're getting out in nature, you're finding beautiful places around the world, you're reading about travel or art, or I don't know, you start a business, you know, and you just do things that you know are good for you, and life will be alright. It will be alright again in time, but you can't get angry at tarot readers for saying someone's going to get in touch and then they don't. You know, like, I would honestly do it the other way around. I'd say, well, the tarot reader said they're going to get in touch, but I doubt they will. And then if they do, you'll be like, oh my God, they got in touch. You know, like, it is still very much an abstract concept. It's something you can't touch. You know, tarot and this connection to spirit. There's little confirmations, you know, you ask questions, pull another card, and you have it confirmed. And it's like, there's just certain things that happen, like what I was talking about with coincidences. There's certain things that happen in life where you're like, that's so weird. I was just thinking about that person and they messaged, or I never thought I was going to see them again, and then we just bumped into each other. Like, what are the chances? Like, or you know, you're totally given up on the idea of someone getting in touch. You're not even thinking about them, and then they get in touch, you know. And it's just like, in life, the most unexpected things can happen, you know. But you've got to be able to cope when, you know, someone says, oh, I think this person's going to come back, and then they don't. No one can like hold your hand through life, and no one can tell you what someone else is going to do, because like I said earlier, that person's living different realities to you. They have different blueprints of what a normal childhood is, what normal healthy connections are. They have different ideas as they get older about what they're prepared to do in life, you know, whether they want to get married, ever have children, if work's more of a priority to them. Different things make you prioritise different things, and you're constantly changing your mind and growing and evolving. I never thought I would consider being in a relationship with someone who's married. I never thought I would consider being in a relationship where that person doesn't want children, or where that person already has children and it would mean having a blended family. I wanted everything so textbook when I was like 21. I was just like, no, I want to meet someone that doesn't have children yet. They need to be my exact age. I was so black and white about everything. I was so black and white. I need to be married by a certain age. I need these people there. The dress is going to be like X, Y, or Z. It's just life doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. And we're all just trying to make sense of it. And if someone's a tarot reader, they're probably just trying to help you, you know? But you are in control of your own actions and how you spend your time. And if you spend all of your day and night watching tarot, then take control back and stop doing that. You know, allow yourself, like with anything, everything in moderation, you know. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling lonely because you've just come out of a relationship or a marriage and you have like more free time than what you would have, and you normally would have gone to your partner's house, or you normally would have texted them, or you normally would have been doing X, Y, and Z with them, make new routines. Text a friend, text a best friend, or ring up a best friend instead. Go and sit in the living room with your parents instead. You know, go to your sister's or your brother's house instead. Make sure you're planning to meet up with friends. Make sure that you know, occupy yourself with exercise or painting or some kind of project. If you feel restless, you know, like ask a friend, can I come round, like, you know, can we watch a movie, have something to eat or something, like, you know, I'm struggling a bit, just reach out and connect with people that care about you. It will be okay, it will get easier. It's just a case of making new routines. Tarot's not the enemy. There was a lot of channels, to be honest, where they were promising that you're going to win money, or that you're going to like inherit, you know, shitloads of cash, or you're going to like, I don't know, just like clickbaity stuff. Be discerning, you know. There's also like channels where people post old videos and make out like they're new ones. And I've seen people comment and go, this is an old reading, you know, because they're like watching all of them. They'll know if you're posting old content again. Now, it's not illegal to post content that you've already posted. In fact, YouTube and TikTok advise to do that. But I think when it comes to readings, I don't think they should be reposted. I think because they're time sensitive, you should do a fresh one. I think if you're reposting it, that's naughty, to be honest. I get annoyed if I have like someone who's a really good reader, and I've had personal readings off him that were fantastic. If I hadn't have had personal readings off him that were fantastic, I would have unfollowed ages ago, because he keeps posting videos that are like 3 months old. He's already posted them, and it's annoying. So yeah, I think. But then, you know, different tarot readers believe that readings are timeless and you shouldn't put a time on them. But that's not what I believe. And like with any religion or spirituality, there's certain parameters, isn't there, where groups of people will believe that's true within the same religion or the same spirituality, and then you'll have people that believe somewhere in the middle and people that are very much the other way about stuff, and it's not an exact science. So maybe he's not being naughty posting the same videos. Maybe he believes that they are going to resonate for different people at different times. But I know I don't like that particular thing, so if I start to watch it and I realise it's one that's already been posted, I don't give it a like, you know. But I know that he's a quality reader because I've had personal readings and they're too good, honestly, like they're too accurate, and he reads in a really nice, caring way, so maybe I'd need to like understand tarot more, and maybe I shouldn't, you know, put like time in on stuff. This is what I believe right now, so I won't be posting videos that I've already posted just because I think, well, why not just do a fresh one? If you get the same message coming out, you get the same message coming out. You know what I mean? I think when I first started, I was worried about doing collective readings. I wanted to do more personals, and I was like, well, how can people be experiencing the same lessons at the same time? But then, how anything? You know, like, why anything? Like, why? And this, like, is like bizarre but true. Why do people have very similar personalities if they're all Virgos or they're all Tauruses or they're all Aries? They have certain behaviours, certain beliefs, certain ways that they look. Even like body parts that they find are most sensitive. You can Google all of this shit, right? And it's true. You'll like, you know, so many people like read about their own zodiac sign, they're like, shit, that's so me. You know, like, oh my god, that's so my sister, or that is so my mum, that's so my dad. And it's, what's the word? It's a phenomenon. Like, I can't understand it. I don't know why, what time you're born, or what way the moon is, what month you're born. Like, I don't know why that dictates certain stuff, but it obviously does. Like, because it's just too accurate. I don't know why certain messages come through and resonate to fuck with certain people, but they do. They don't always resonate for me, but it doesn't mean I'm going to say that person's a charlatan or a scammer or they've got it in for like humankind or they're not good at reading. I think broadly, people of the same zodiac sign, and because it's linked to astrology and planetary alignments, I do think, and I need to learn more about, well, if I want to, I'll learn more about astrology. But I do think there's certain lessons that groups of people are learning, obviously not with the exact same person and obviously not on the exact same time frame, but it does seem that there's certain lessons that we're learning, you know. And even to the, it's so freaky, but even to the point where people will comment and say, oh yeah, I'm a Taurus dealing with an Aquarius, and then you got like three other people like the comment because they're dealing with someone with those personality traits, and that, you know, similar thing has happened where it's been like runner chaser. And it's, I mean, if that is just chance, but people are able to be there for one another and be supportive and try to make sense of why certain things have happened and get some good from it, and some, you know, they can process difficult emotions and move on from it. That isn't a bad thing, is it? That's not a nasty thing. That's not a naughty thing. It's not evil. It's nice that people are able to be supportive for one another and to get some nice oracle messages about self-love, and if they learn to be understanding about what someone else could be going through and why they could be doing the things that they're doing. and how to deal with that, then that's a good thing. Certain tarot readers are not very respectful towards their viewers. They are very concerned with becoming famous, rich, and they don't hide that. If you don't like it, unsubscribe from it. I have. I don't like what certain tarot readers are about because they are very much focused with becoming famous, and they don't really care about your feelings in the way that they articulate messages. They're quite disrespectful with the language that they use, the specific words that they call you. I just think that's diabolical, and I would never do that. If you're a true light worker, and all tarot readers are light workers or are supposed to be light workers, it means you're an angel, right? You're an earth angel, you're trying to help people. You're trying to share wisdom from higher beings and help people to grow and evolve. And if you're calling people bitches and whores, or being disrespectful towards people, or you're like roasting them or calling them X, Y, and Z, if you're going on about how you just love money and you just want to be famous, you are not a good person. You're just not. You're not helping people. You're actually affecting. You are negatively affecting like hundreds of thousands of people, potentially millions of people, calling them all kinds of stuff and saying you don't care about the messages you're giving them. How is that positive? How is that helpful? You're not reading out any oracles. You're just saying, I think this is what's happening. You're at this or you're at that. And if you don't like it, you can do one. How is that supportive, caring, evolved, intellectual? It's just not, you know? And then there's like people who are just really funny and entertaining. Like, I love watching Elijah's tarot because he's just funny. He does stuff to make you laugh. And sometimes tarot can get really serious, really heavy. And when you watch someone who's making you laugh, or like Empress of Energy, she's got like a really Mancunian accent and she does like silly accents, like Aussie accents, or like, I'm not saying that Australian accent is silly, but she just goofs around a bit and it's funny. It makes light of stuff. Tarot can be brilliant. It can really resonate. It can be really profound, and it can just be silly and entertaining as well. Sometimes, like, can be both. You know, but enjoy connecting with real people across the world who are, you know, wanting the best for you, and also people who are going through what you're going through. That's the sum total of it, really. It's a community. So if someone's being disrespectful towards you in the way that they refer to you, if they're saying they don't really care what's going on in your life, or roasting what you look like, then why on earth are you watching them, honestly? Because they're not even trying to say that they're a good person or that they want the best for you. They're not even trying to do that. So I really wouldn't give that person another subscriber. I would unsubscribe and I'd report them for like being abusive, to be honest, because it's just not okay. Right, I've gone on and on and on. I'm going to leave it there. But yeah, just cut down the number of hours, keep a balance, everything, that old adage, everything in moderation. Try to follow people who give nice oracle messages, and you know, I don't have comments on, but there's channels where comments are allowed and people are really nice and supportive to one another. So, you know, be discerning about who you follow, and yeah, just treat yourself well, okay? Be good to yourself, nourish yourself, get outdoors, be around others if you're lonely. You know, only give like so much time to watching tarot and you will be grand. All right, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.